Support for the Channel StageONE series comes from The Music Box, a podcast from Louisville Public Media where families can explore music together. This week's episode will teach you about songwriting and how instruments tell stories. Follow the show wherever podcasts are available.
Okay, we are recording. Well, hi, my name's Tara Anderson, and I am the producer of the Music Box podcast, and I'm here with the host of the Music Box. Hi, Faith.
Hi, I am Faith Murphy, and I write the Music Box and the voice that you hear when you listen to the podcast every week.
And we're here to show you how we make the Music Box. Now, I've been a radio and podcast producer for a long time, and this is an unusual situation we find ourselves in, that we are making this totally from our homes. And neither of us have a professional quality recording studio in our homes. So we're improvising because that's what musicians do. Faith, can you tell everybody about your home setup that we can see you in right now?
Yes, I mean, it's definitely makeshift. As you can see, I'm using a lawn chair to sit in right now. And around me, I have padded blankets, sheets, and sleeping bags to create a sound barrier. And I also have above me another sleeping bag so that it absorbs the sound all around me. And thankfully, I have a very ingenuitive spouse who used clothespins and rope, and it's just hanging out here in my basement. For the first few episodes that we recorded, I had it upstairs in a closet in our attic, which is actually a much better place as far as avoiding the sound of everybody else in my home, but it also doesn't have a vent. So as the weather's getting warmer, it was getting very, very balmy up there. So I moved it down here, which means that my children are without their Lego room for a couple of hours a week. But
right.
They can make do.
So at the same time we're both making this podcast from home, we both have kids who are also at home. And so we have to find a way to make Faith, at least, kind of insulated from that sound. Anybody listening right now might hear my kids running around in the background right now. So when you record audio, you want to make sure that you're in a space that's kind of smaller and enclosed, so you don't get a lot of echoing out of the room. If you go to a professional recording studio, you'll see all this stuff on the wall to kind of keep the echo down and keep all the sound in the room. And so that's what Faith has made at home with what she had. Sometimes when I've been a reporter on the go, I will record my audio under a blanket or under a coat. So you just want to kind of keep that audio dampening around so you don't get a lot of the sound of your space. So that's one thing that we're doing to make a podcast at home. Let's talk about how an episode comes to be. Faith, you write all the episodes. So let's talk about when you have an idea for an episode, how do you make that into a script? We have a script kind of like you would for a play.
Yes. So is we know that this season is 12 episodes. So we created a 12 episode outline so that I kind of have a sense of where I want to go with future episodes, or maybe there's a few episodes that link well together. Like we just did 4 episodes on the instrument families, and that kind of allows me to create a similar structure for each one. But once I know the theme of the episode, I dig into my tools up here, and I dig into my books, and I dig in online and find I just start the research process. And it's not because I don't have the information. I definitely have the information, but it's also understanding that when I'm in the classroom, I've got one grade level that I'm thinking about at one time. But with the podcast, I'm thinking about not only multiple grade levels, but I'm also thinking about families. And I'm also thinking about the adults who are listening and what are they going to learn out of it as well. Like we have the opportunity to learn at every age. And so finding a way to make it incorporating all of those ages, but also making it experiential for the learner and for the listener, so that they're not just hearing me talk at them, but feeling like it's an experience. So I'm always thinking about when I'm introducing these terms and these tools, how can I do it in a way that has them getting up? How can I do it in a way that has them thinking even after they turn off the podcast? And also, how do I have them doing it in a way where they are wondering beyond just the music that they're hearing in those 10 minutes? We're also attempting to hit some of those national standards. So I'm never writing specifically saying I'm going to focus on this national standard. It's more of like, I'm going to write and create what I think is fun and educational, and then see where I hit national standards. But as we've been going further into the season, knowing those national standards so well, I'm trying my best to broaden that scope so that I can hit more than just one or two at a time.
Yeah. We're trying to make something that is, first of all, really fun and engaging to listen to. Kind of like, I always think about how Disney movies are a lot of fun for kids, but Disney has also figured out that if parents hate them, they won't go. And so you've got to have something that the grown-ups enjoy too. And so we've always been thinking that way. So once Faith has a script written, then I go through and have another look at it to make sure that it's hitting all of our marks. And then we get together virtually to record. She's got a mic at her house. Can you show it to everybody?
Yes, it is right here.
It's a tiny, cute little microphone.
Reminds me of like those old-timey microphones from the 30s and 40s.
Yeah. And so we got her this mic when we started working on this season. For anybody who wants to make a podcast at home, this
Sure.
it cost about $100. So not super expensive, and a nice little investment, but it makes a big difference to have good quality audio and a good quality mic from the beginning. The mic that's on your laptop is probably pretty good, but if you want to make something yourself, invest a little bit of money and get a better mic. That makes a difference. So when we're ready to record, Faith and I get together on FaceTime so that we can talk to each other while we work. And then she just records the whole script into her computer. We're so lucky that we can do everything we need on our laptops. And Faith, you already had some experience recording your own music before this.
Yes. Just a little bit for fun. Nothing for work. But yeah, I use an app on my computer, not an app on your computer, a software.
There you go.
Software on my computer, and record the voices. And then you taught me how to send it to you because I didn't know how to do that.
Yeah, yeah. So
it's been fun learning on the fly, and it's been a challenge, but not as I thought it would be. So
yeah. Most of us, if you've got a relatively new laptop, you might have some audio editing software on there already. Faith had GarageBand, which is what she's been using. There are several other free programs out there or very low cost programs that you can try. So we can put a link in the end of this little video to some online resources for how to get started with audio editing. So you can just try it out. For people who are interested, I use Adobe Audition to edit and produce the podcast. After Faith records her voice part, she sends the file to me, and then it's my job to put it all together. So I put everything into Adobe Audition. I've got Faith's voice. We both also include our kids in the podcast. We wanted children's voices. And the previous season of the Music Box, we used to go into schools and record in classrooms, which was really fun and gave us a lot of opportunities for kids' voices. Being May of 2020, we cannot do that at the moment. So we have been using the children that we have access to.
And we're fortunate enough that between the two of us, the ages of the kids span K through 5.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
when I'm going back to the writing part of it, when I'm writing, I always guinea pig my kids as I'm writing it. So like a lot of times the responses that you hear the kids say in the podcast are real-time actual responses that I asked them as I was writing it, and then I wrote down what they said.
That's
so that I
awesome.
know how a child is going to react when they're in the classroom.
Exactly. So we've got Faith's voice, we've got the kids' voices. Then I pull in some music and sound effects, all sorts of different things, and put it all together. And for anybody who's new to audio production, you might think that it's fast and easy, and it actually takes a long time to make good quality audio. I would say for a 10-minute episode of the Music Box, I probably spend between 8 and 10 hours editing. Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it takes a long time. A lot of details, want to make sure everything is placed correctly and has like nice smooth transitions. I want to make sure that the overall volume levels are good, so you don't get that moment. Sometimes when you're watching TV and then the commercial comes on and it like blasts you out of the water. I try to make sure we don't have those kind of moments in the podcast, to make sure that it's all about the same and that we have everything correct and that it sounds fun and engaging. So once I finish that, then the episode is ready to post. We have a hosting software that we use, a company, and there are lots of different ones out there for new podcast makers to use. We'll also put some of those resources in the notes for this video as well. We use a platform provided by PRX, which is oh goodness, I don't even know how to, they are an audio making network company. The Music Box was developed in partnership with PRX. We got a grant from them and a lot of training from them to learn how to make a better podcast. And so we use their publishing platform, which is really easy to use. And it's just like a drop and click kind of thing. I am not a computer programmer. I'm not a super techie person, but I can use that platform, and then it's ready to come out and you can download it in your podcast app. So there it is. I think we made it sound, maybe, I don't know if we made it sound easier or harder than it actually is, but you can make a podcast at home. Even when you can't.
Especially if you have a great producer like Tara.
Well,
8 to 10 hours of editing. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. But also like we definitely make this together. So I'm a musician by background, but I'm not a music teacher. And I have loved the ideas that you have come up with for how to really teach kids and get them engaged. So this is a true partnership that we help each other, and we both bring our ideas to the table to
Absolutely.
try to make something fun.
Yes.
So,
and it's a great experience all around.
Yeah. Before this, Faith had never made a podcast before. So we brought her on board in March, and we're looking forward to making 12 full episodes that will wrap up in July. And then maybe we'll do some special summer stuff. I don't know. We haven't talked to you about that yet, but I've got some ideas.
Yay!
So, thank you to everybody for watching our video. You can reach out to me if you have any questions about how to make a podcast. I love talking about it and teaching other people. Thank you to
Or an at-home sound booth.
There you go. The resourcefulness and being able to pivot on a dime, that is the name of the game these days in these times we're living in. But thank goodness we can still make a podcast at home. So thanks to everybody at StageONE Family Theater for being part of our network and for sharing our videos and our podcasts. And I hope everybody has a great summer.
Bye.